Is again Wednesday night. We've got a very rainy evening, and it's not really all that much. Even what we have is just a fairly skinny thunderstorm heading up I-59, drifting up over northeast Alabama, and getting downpoured here at the News 12 studios with lots of lightning, a little bit of gusty winds out there, but we do not have anything from the National Weather Service that indicates that we have any severe weather taking place, and hopefully, again, that'll be what we see for the rest of the evening. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of very heavy rainfall. This visibility out there, not good if you're going to be traveling, so definitely want to keep that in mind. Before we go too far, again, welcome to the show. This is Weather Overtime for Wednesday, the 23rd of April. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Welcome to the show. If you've got questions about what's going on with the forecast in and around this particular area, just please drop it into the stream chat on Twitch, and then also again on YouTube in the chat function. We'd love to be able to hear where you're from, what you're looking at this point in time where it comes to weather. So thanks a lot for everybody for tuning in and seeing what's going on for tonight. Again, hopefully no severe weather. I'm also hoping that we don't lose power at this point, because we have seen quite a lot of lightning out there. Let's go ahead and switch on over for just a little bit, see if we can see anything going on at Lee Point at 64 and 75. Lots of raggedy clouds off to the west, a decent amount of lightning, some fast-moving clouds out there. And again, for tonight, we're going to see the potential of more of this activity going on off and on. No question about that for right now. And into the rest of the evening, again, this is what we're going to have to deal with when it comes to the potential of heavier amounts of rainfall out there. If you are just joining us, it is just about 10 until 10 Eastern time. Looks like we've had our data freeze up there for a little bit because that's not the scene that I was expecting to be using. Let's switch over to downtown on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera. There we go, some heavier amounts of rainfall. You can barely see the 24-27 junction in and around downtown. Plenty of rainfall out there. So once again, if you have to be doing any traveling while this is moving on through, might want to see if you can just wait for a little bit just to be on the safe side. If you have to be out, definitely want to slow it down to make certain that you are safe out there. Again, rushing around on roadways like this is not a good idea, and something that can get you into a decent amount of trouble out there by going too quickly. Some of the traffic out there where 27 meets 24 was just not doing all that well. Looks like we're having a data slowdown. I hope our netcast is getting through at this point. If this could be a bit of an issue for later on. There's a view of the TVA building, the public library, parking lot across from EPB. Again, on the Bailey's Heating and Air camera, that's what it looks like from downtown. Want to check and see what's going on with the traffic. Not doing too bad at 2475. Looks like the rain has not quite made this particular area just yet. Also don't know at this time how the baseball game was doing. The lookouts, you can see the lights from AT&T Field off in the corner there, and that is again where the lookouts were playing the team, the Clingstones, if I'm not mistaken. And again, this is what it looks like on the North Shore. Tennessee River out there someplace. Breezy, lots of rain at this point. Very not good for getting out and about for everything out there. 67 degrees at the airport, and winds light out of the east-southeast at about 5 miles per hour. That right there, that is our thunderstorm with the fairly intense amounts of lightning going on through. Going up through Battery Heights and aiming its way up 27 toward Soddy Daisy and Middle Valley, stretching all the way down through East Ridge, Rossville, and into northern parts of Walker and over toward Catoosa counties, picking up some of that rainfall. The lightning appears to be slacking off a little bit, but we do have, again, some fairly intense amounts of rain, and these pop-up thunderstorms, it's going to be good conditions for these things to develop pretty quickly, drift around, lose gradually their power, and then they become nothing more than just leftover showers, which is, again, what we're going to be aiming for the rest of the evening out there. So heavy rainfall from Walden back up around Burnham Wood, Red Bank, and all the way down to the Tennessee line. That right there is the heaviest rainfall that we've been seeing out across the area so far in the last about half an hour. Much of the rest of the area, not that much going on. A few rumbles of thunder over toward western North Carolina. This is the News 12 viewing area here. If you're just tuning in to watch, southeast Tennessee, western North Carolina, north central, northwest Georgia, and northeastern parts of Alabama. That is where we are based at, and again with Chattanooga sitting right there in the center of the picture. So welcome to the show. This is our home area. Plenty of light to moderate showers elsewhere, but I would not be surprised to see more of these pop-up thunderstorms going on with a bit of some vigor out there. Had some decent amounts of lightning, not exactly severe, powerful thunderstorms out there, and the chance of severe weather is pretty much not in the cards for this evening. We'll show you that map coming up in just a little bit. 78, the high temperature today, very close to our normal. 1600ths of an inch. Now that was recorded as of about 5 o'clock this afternoon. That may turn out to be different later on. It was not enough to get us up over into the positive territory, so we are still behind for the month and for the year when it comes to that chance of rainfall out there. More potential of rainfall tonight, very much on the mild side with the temperatures concerned, back in the 60s and 70s. And we'll be looking for more of that activity, again, possible for tonight. Now, severe weather doesn't seem to be happening at this point. Way back to the west of us, mid-plain states down to the Rio Grande and the Big Bend area of Texas, that is where we may see the potential of the worst severe weather. The pale green is just on the key in the upper right-hand corner. This is non-severe generic thunderstorm threat. So we don't see, again, a huge amounts of problems, but I would not be surprised to see rumbles of thunder going on overnight and right on into Thursday morning about the time for drive time and getting off to school. Thursday, same thing, widespread chances of thunderstorms out there, and same thing for Friday, generic but not specifically anything in the way of severe weather taking place. So some good news on that. But we do see, again, that potential for more activity in the way of thunderstorms coming up. So that, again, could be a bit of a concern out there throughout the rest of the morning hours tomorrow and into the next couple of days. So getting to school in the morning and coming back home again, there will be chances of showers and thunderstorms out there. Less in the morning, more in the afternoon. Short sleeve weather, maybe a jacket in the morning, temperatures in the lower 60s, and then maybe some patchy fog as well. That could be a bit of an issue out there for drivers. So getting going in the morning, pre-sunrise hours, a little bit of extra time to navigate the wet roadways, the possible fog, and any other showers that may be out there. Better possibilities of thunderstorms will be taking place into the rest of the midday and afternoon hours. That is something, again, to watch out for, especially for outdoor activities going on. If you have any plans for outdoors, you really need to watch out for what's going on there. Also, taking the pupper for a walk in the morning. Definitely want to be prepared for the potential of maybe some more showers and thunderstorms out there off and on through the morning. Thanks to John Hale from Chattanooga for a review of very prepared pupper Diesel getting his umbrella ready to go. That's our dog walking forecast pupper picture of the day. Into the rest of the evening, what we do have is a storm system that is kind of being resupplied by other storm systems making its way through. This was a stationary front. A system moved in from the north, ran into this, absorbed the energy, and that was what was able to keep this front going. It's still starting to wash out in the atmosphere, but then we have another storm system back into the plain states. That's going to run into this and give us more potential for this frontal system sticking around. And then we have another system and another system and another system coming in, and all of these will help to bring more chances of rain down into and across our area. So the potential for rain and thunder will go on over the next several days. So if you have plans for outdoors, this is something that you're definitely going to want to consider out there. So again, please keep that in mind. Please remember, whatever you have in the way of outdoor activity, when thunder roars, go indoors. Please make certain that you are following that basic safety rule to make sure that you're paying attention to weather safety out there. It's one of the best things that you can possibly do for your own safety and whoever else is with you on that. A lot of clouds, a little bit more rain. You can see the speckles falling in the sky shine reflected off of Lake Chickamauga along the Tennessee River, looking off to the west where we had just a bit of some sunset from earlier tonight. Arbor Day is on Friday. Chances of showers and thunderstorms will continue right on into early Sunday. After that, we look to get a possibility of some more showers and thunderstorms coming on through. And again, that could be where we see, again, the worst of the worst activity going on. Finally diminishing, dwindling here. Normal, again, for this time of the year is about 76, and we're going to be just above that for the next several days, including more sunshine into next week. That means we could be looking at hotter conditions out there toward about the end of next week as we go from April into May. Yes, we're almost out of the fourth month of the year. More potential, again, for rainfall coming in after that break in the rain, and that, again, is where we could see the potential of more of those showers and thunderstorms taking place, again, toward the end of next week. That's what we're going to be watching for now, so keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll let you know more about that. Either way, mild temperatures out there, not getting a lot of anything in the way of very cool weather, although we may see some upper 50s for a little bit. That's going to be about it. We're about to that time of the year where 70 is going to be and is going to feel like an autumn chill as we go into July and August. We're about to that time frame of the year. So wish we had better news than that at this point in time, but we're just not seeing any cooler weather at this point. And don't forget, again, we'll keep our eyes on the situation, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more out there. Thanks to Mary Glover in Athens for a beautiful view of some silhouetted trees against the sunrise in Athens, Tennessee. That's our Langley Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. If you've got pictures out there, we'd love to see what you are seeing, and we'd love to show them to everybody. So send them to us at pictures@wdef.com. You can go to our social media pages, drop the pictures off with a location and or description in the commentary. That would really help us out here to tell people what it is that we're looking at. And again, you can go to Weather Window Headquarters at our website, wdef.com/photos for more on that. So thanks to everybody for sending in some marvelous pictures out there for the next several weeks. We could always use some more, so definitely want to send those in as soon as you possibly can. Again, for tomorrow, we may be looking at more clouds and rainfall for Thursday. Going to be a minimal chance of a lot of sunshine, but it is going to be, again, the possibility of thunderstorms. And for whether or not you're going to be outdoors doing anything outdoorsy, as in camping, fishing, hiking, or going out to the golf course, when you see that lightning, hear that thunder, it's time for you to get back indoors once again and to make certain that you are protected on that. So please, everybody, when thunder roars, let's go indoors. Make certain everybody stays safe out there. All right, what else do we have to offer for tonight? Let's go ahead and talk about a little weather music trivia history. Talking about from our roofquotes.com weather question of the day. The Young Rascals, A Beautiful Morning, which followed up their hit Groovin'. This one peaked at number 3. Where was this song written and recorded? Los Angeles, London, or Honolulu? 2/3 of you just about got the answer correctly. It was actually in Honolulu, Hawaii, that the Rascals got this hit underway. More questions? Definitely want to visit our website, use the QR code, or go to our website at wdef.com/vote now for more. And thanks to roofquotes.com for being our sponsor. For the your environment section, time to talk a little bit more about climate change. And while that may irk some of you, it is a necessary topic and something to really consider. And for those of you who think NOAA just talks about climate change, you're wrong. They do a lot more than that, and they need to talk about climate change. Hopefully that opinion doesn't get me sent to a South American prison, but unfortunately it looks like things are heading in that general direction these days. But until I get clapped in irons and shanghaied somewhere else, going to continue to talk about this because it is important, again, for everybody. Shutting down NOAA is not going to stop the talk about climate change. It's going to hurt a lot of people, in fact, and people who belong to a certain project really need to examine why and what they are doing, why they are doing what they are doing on that. This route from NASA and around the area of the National Snow Ice Data Center, scientists say Arctic and Antarctic winter sea ice at record lows. Now, the big question is this a minor blip to where we are seeing less and we'll get a lot more in the next few years, or is this a continuous trend of downward amount of ice in the next several decades to the next several centuries as climate change takes over from our human-induced use of fossil fuels around the planet? What does this have to do with anything? If we don't have enough snow and ice to reflect the sunlight back into space, if we don't have this ice sitting here, it melts and goes into the oceans, which is causing them to rise. And a lot of the naysayers out there, probably the people who believe in that certain project, say, oh, a couple of millimeters a year isn't going to be a problem. Besides, I'll be dead soon, so I don't need to worry about that. Well, actually, we do. There was a very sobering story from CBS News about farmers around South Carolina who are losing their property because the salt water of rising sea levels is making its way into the farm territory, killing their crops. And if they can't grow crops, we can't have that food from that farm. And if that goes on, not only in the United States, but around the rest of the world, we've got very big problems. As in less food, more people, you kind of see the problems we've got here. So yes, climate change will affect you one way or the other, even if you don't live on the coastal areas of the United States. It is important to notice that climate change is happening, and the less ice there is to cool things off, the warmer our planet gets. Parts of Antarctica are losing 150 trillion metric tons of meltwater every single year, and all of that is draining into the ocean, and all of that is causing the sea level to rise. That's a fact. That is happening, and we partly as humans are helping to cause that. So if you'd like to see this article and take a look at the information from NASA for yourself, go to our website, wdef.com/weather, if you'd like to see a little bit more about what this is all about and why talking about climate change is important and should not be criminalized. And under the First Amendment, I have the right to be able to talk about this, and this is something that people need to hear about. Again, journalism is printing what needs to be talked about. Anything else is public relations, which I believe was Eric Fromm saying that, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on there. If you'd like to know more about what's going to be happening with the tropics, go to Colorado State's weather section. You can find out more at tropical.colostate.edu. The outlook for the season for Colorado State, issued by and begun by the late Dr. William Gray, continues, and again showing above normal chances for storms this year. Well, not well above like last year, but just above, and that indicates an active season. The waters of the Gulf of Mexico hardly cooled off last year in the wintertime, and that's why we had a very active 2024 season. It looks like for now 2025 will be active, but not quite as active as 2024 was. The next update on this comes up June 11th, and whether or not we get anything from NOAA directly, we'll bring that to you when we have more information about what we're going to be looking for out there. So definitely want to stay tuned for more on that. We'll be glad to let you know more about that. We don't have much going on in the way of severe weather for right now, but now would be an excellent time to consider becoming a Skywarn spotter. And if you can't make the in-person meetings, National Weather Service in Morristown has, again, Skywarn spotter information online. You can take the course at any point in time, study the materials, pass the quiz, register with your local National Weather Service office, wherever that happens to be, and you can be a Skywarn spotter. Again, one more good bit of what NOAA does in the community. Again, a certain project would tell you, we just turned everything over to a private forecasting firm, no problem. All this will be taken care of. Well, no, it won't, and no, it can't. There is not one single private forecasting firm out there that will do anything close to what NOAA does. And again, for every $1 we invest in the National Weather Service and NOAA, we get $73 back return on investment. Interesting statistics on that from Stand Up for Science online. Be able to check out their information on there. We posted that last week when tax day was coming around. So if you have the opportunity, please take the course and register with the National Weather Service as a Skywarn spotter, but you got to pass the course first. This is a great way to help out your community when it needs it the most, and that is where, again, the more Skywarn spotters we have that know what to report back to the National Weather Service using this or possibly using one of these, contacting other ham radio operators out there with that information. Of course, you need a license for that, but if you have that ability, you could help save lives by becoming a Skywarn spotter. So please, again, consider doing that if you are able to do so. Globeatnight.org would love to be able to get you involved in International Dark Sky Week. Ironically, Dark Sky Week for us falls in a week where we've got rain and clouds, and it's very difficult to see anything going on out there. So very difficult to do any spotting at night. Globe at Night needs help measuring night sky interference from sky shine, from pollution, things like that. They ask you to look at a certain constellation, in the case of this graphic, Canis Major, very close to Orion with the 3 stars in the belt across, and they ask you to see what you see, write it down, and let them know about it. And if you'd like to help out at that, globeatnight.org/campaigns, or again, you can go to our website, wdef.com/weather. One more good example of citizen science and how you can help out on things like that. All right, I think we've covered everything for tonight. One more look at the cameras just to see what's going on out there. Sounds like the rain has calmed down a little bit. A lot of sky shine out at Island Cove. We'll take one more look downtown to see if we have anything available there. Visibility hopefully has improved. Okay, that's not a good... There we go. Okay, I'm getting worried about our camera system for some reason. Again, so far, quiet conditions for downtown and for the rest of the area. So it looks like we still have... You can see the rain coming down in the street lights out there and on the camera lens. So wet roadways are going to be the issue for later on tonight. Let me take one more look at 2475. Hopefully that rain's avoiding the area. Misty, foggy, really not that much going on for right now. And most of the rain passing out of downtown and moving up to the north and to the east, but still rain coming down in Coolidge Park. Footbridge out there, rain pelting the camera lens, and traffic on 27 moving, but not seeing a lot of slowdowns, at least for right now. So good news. And you just saw some more lightning flashes out there, so more thunderstorms taking place as we speak. Rest of the evening, again, we're not expecting severe weather, but we will be watching very carefully to see what goes on out there. So keep it tuned to News 12. I'll have more coming up on News 12 at 11. So stay tuned for more there. And, of course, Chip Chapman will have more on the forecast coming up bright and early Thursday morning at 5 a.m. Again, so far no severe weather, but it is possible we could get 1 or 2. We did have some severe weather tonight. Not that much, but, again, it was around and about. So something to watch out for in the next couple of days. Definitely time to pay attention to what is going on with the weather forecast, and we will help you do that right here on News 12. Give me 2 seconds here. I do want to mention one more thing. My wife asked me to put this out there. She participates in these going on. And for my first shameless plug of the evening, I want to mention at this point in time the Duck Duck Goose Chattanooga's premier children's consignment event. That's going to be taking place April 24th through the 28th. That'll be at, Half Price Monday, the former Burlington at 345 Northgate Mall Road. You can find out more at their website at what is that? DKDKGoose.com if you'd like to know more about that. And if you're in the area, again, good opportunity to get some pretty good bargains out there. They also include a handy dandy QR code if you'd like to use that. So if you're in town and want to get some good bargains on that, April 24th through the 28th, again, they'll be closed on closed Sunday. Again, the former Burlington, again, that'll be at the Northgate Mall right there, DKDKGoose.com if you'd like to know more about that. So stop on by. That's our shameless plug for tonight. Thank you very much for staying tuned for that. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining me tonight. We'll have more on Thursday evening and, of course, getting you ready for your weekend coming up. And stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online.